Good morning, it is Hannah from Communication Wise, and today I want to talk to you about what they say. You cannot control what is happening, but you can control how you respond to whatever that is happening. And I think that that is easier said than done, but I also think that there is truth in there. So I want to talk about what happened this February of this year in our family. So this was an unusually warm day in February, and my son came home from the bus and he wasn't looking too happy. And I asked him, "What's wrong, babe?" And he said, my jaw is hurting again. So the dentist had put in an expander 2 weeks prior, and this had caused him a little discomfort in his jaw. You know, it was just a little sensitive. His cheek was sensitive from the inside, all that. So I wasn't worried, and I said, "It's a beautiful day, let's go to the park." So we were in the park, but he really wasn't playing. He wasn't feeling good, and he started to look a little pale. So we went home, I made dinner, and then after dinner, and it was already hard for him to eat, and then after dinner I said brushing teeth. And he said, "Mama, I can't get my toothbrush in my mouth." And I said, "Well, that's not possible. Let me help you." So I did, which was disastrous because he screamed out of pain. And this is when I really noticed something was really off. And then his cheek started swelling up. So I got worried. I immediately called my friend right next door. She's a dental hygienist, and I said, "What's going on?" And she said she didn't know and called the emergency dentist. So I did that. Next day we went to the pediatrician, we went to the hospital for pictures, and then we went to the surgeon, and it turned out his jaw was broken. There was a broken, there was just a broken piece inside his jaw. So that all happened really quickly, you know, and he looked like a chipmunk. And so he needed medicines to get that swelling down, but also to numb the pain because he was in a lot of pain. And so we were really relieved that it didn't have to get wired shut. You know how they say that you just, you know, your jaws are on top of each other, but still that was a lot. So I walked around with the question for so long, what had happened? And so he told me that, you know, while they were riding the bus home, another boy who was just supposed to sit down like everybody else started walking through the aisle. The bus took a turn, and the boy landed, he landed on top of my son, on his face. So, okay, that's a credible story, you know, I'm sure that it happened, but still, you know, does that explain a broken jaw? It really doesn't. So the more my son was improving, you know, the more he started to feel better because he, you know, he had a lot of medicine, the more angry and upset and scared I felt. I mean, how could this have happened to my son? Just like that, you know, from the one day on another, you're walking around with a broken jaw. How does that happen? It doesn't happen like that. And I needed to find out what had happened. So I called the school, I called the dentist, and I wanted to get to the bottom of everything. And even though, you know, I am a lawyer, I know what it does. I don't threaten with lawsuits. I was actually thinking about it. And the school principal and the dentist handled this really well. They showed that they actually cared about my son's well-being, and I felt that to my son that was so important, and to me it was too, but I was still walking around with those upset feelings. And so I talked to my family, I talked to my friends, and I said, what do I need to do? I need to find out what had happened. I need to know what had happened. And so I talked to my sister, and I said, like, I'm going to call the dentist, like, I'm like all these things. And she said, so how is your son doing? And I said, well, you know, he's getting better. He's moody because he cannot eat. You know, everything has to go through a straw. But other than that, you know, we can like give him less and less medicine. So he's doing well. His health is improving. And she said to me, she said, Hannah, why don't you focus on his improving health? And that is really everything, right? I mean, it really like made me think about, what do I want? I want my son to be healthy and happy. I want myself to be healthy and happy. And if I start putting all that energy into making sure that somebody else was wrong and I was not, you know, and to end up with what? With maybe a financial gain. And so it really made me think about, what does injustice or justice, what does getting justice mean, and what is it worth, right? Because do I really want to bring the school down, or the dentist, or the parents of the boy that fell on my son? Do I want that? Would that make me feel better? Or do I just want my son to be healthy? And that is what I want, but it took me a little bit to figure that out. So I'm not saying that if you in this situation would have started a lawsuit and would have gone full in, I'm not saying you're wrong. But I do say there are always options. I felt really vulnerable. I felt really fearful of this thing just happening to us. Not even to me, but, you know, because I'm responsible and caring. But like that this just happened. But I had to accept that it had happened. I had to let go, like really being aware of all that what I was feeling, to be aware of it and let it go in order to actually enjoy his improving health. And you know, we were so lucky. We were so lucky that it didn't have to be wired shut. We were so lucky that his health was improving so quickly, and that he was playing soccer and playing outside and like starting to eat like after 6 weeks the solid foods. We were so lucky that that also happened to us. So I learned a lot of lessons from it. I do not need justice in order to feel good, or I do not need to figure out what actually had happened to cause this incident. But I do need to be really aware of my intention and to know that I have options. So to end with a lighter note, around that time I was teaching mediation skills to a group of elementary school kids in Philadelphia. And I told them about my son, you know, what had happened, and that he was on medicines and that his jaw was hurting, all of that. And so one boy, he was literally doing 2 backflips out of his chair in the classroom, just like that. He walked up to me, this is before Corona, touched my arm. He's like, Miss Hannah, he's like, I like that you're here, but I mean, can you just take a little bit better care of your son? I mean, broken bones are serious, Miss Hannah. So, like I said, I learned a lot of lessons. And I'm hoping that you really can like reflect on what does it take? What does it cost to, in order to need to be right, or a victim, or the other way, flip it and think about what it is, what you really want. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.